Hi again. I stumbled across this KickStarter. I guess it's over already, so I'm late to the party. But there was a Monty Python role-playing game that was funded off of Kickstarter. I can still pre-order it, of course, but I missed the actual campaign, and it seemed to have gone really well. I think they raised over $1 million. Yeah, they raised over $1 million for this Monty Python role-playing game. And this got me excited. This Monty Python role playing game, and I was kind of thinking, why is this Monty Python role playing game? Why is this particular role playing game exciting me more so than other new role playing games that I've seen? And what I think it is that Monty Python, in order to replicate a Monty Python skit or movie, you have to make a completely different game than everything else out there. And I think, but my opinion, and give me your opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but my opinion is that there's just way too many systems, too many role playing games, specifically tabletop role playing game systems, far more than we need. Um, And it seems to me that it's just a matter of some new genre or some new location is being is the subject matter of that tabletop role playing game. So then they come up with a new system just for it to be their profit model. Um, a good example of this is back in the day, TSR made Dungeons and Dragons, and then they came out with, after the success of Dungeons and Dragons, Gamma World and Boot Hill and Top Secret, and then Star Frontiers. And I know a number of those games had been in the works before that, but really after the success of Dungeons and Dragons, they were just trying to make another Dungeons and Dragons essentially. And you know, like Boot Hill and Gamma World, they were really just D&D with a different set of clothing on it. You really didn't need a different set of rules in order to play Gamma World, for example. It was really, there were guns and there were laser pistols, technology that was different than Dungeons and Dragons, but it didn't really require a whole new set of rules. And same with Top Secret, right? I mean, Top Secret, they came up with this very convoluted series of tables for hand-to-hand combat. If you wanted to do like a karate fight, you'd have to go like, oh, I'm going to punch to the upper left, and then cross-index that with what the guy who was fighting he was doing. He was kicking to the lower right shin or something like that, and then you'd cross-index it and find the result. And it was ridiculous. It was a system that was that existed just for there to be a different system, so that you couldn't just use your Dungeons and Dragons rules and play a spy in the 1970s. You had to buy these whole new set of rules. You had to read all these new set of rules, and that's the only way you could be a spy or a cowboy or a guy in the post-apocalypse or in space. Um, and that's just TSR that was doing that. That's way back in the day. Now there's a game for everything. They just came up with a Blade Runner game, for example. And I don't know why we need new rules for Blade Runner. There's nothing in Blade Runner that I feel is completely different that requires an entire new set of rules. But like a Monty Python setting, it would. It would definitely require a new set of rules because Monty Python's not about going out and trying to kill people. And even if you were trying to kill someone, like the Black Knight in the Holy Grail, he's not going to die. He's going to lose his arms and everything else, but he's not going to die. He's going to stay alive. Um, but then there are people that die, aren't there? Like the killer rabbit and all that. So, but if you're the fat guy going into the restaurant in The Meaning of Life, you could consume so much food that you explode, but you're still alive. You still could keep going. So it's going to be a game, or it has to be a game that is not about being a murder hobo and stealing people's treasure necessarily. It's got to be a game that's more that has some other goal to it and some other mechanics to it that allow for a Monty Python esque world and situation and physics to exist. Um, so this brought me back to the whole Wizards of the Coast D&D TSR profit model, which is that profit model of coming out with a book, not even coming out with a book, coming out with 3 books, right? You've got to buy all 3 core books in order to play Dungeons and Dragons. And why are there 3 core books? Well, the reason why there are 3 core books, there might have been some reason for this back in the day when Gary Gygax first, was envisioning this game. There might have been like, oh, okay, the players can't see the Dungeon Master's Guide because that's got to be a surprise. And and maybe that was the case. Maybe he wanted for all those magic items to be really secret and for players to find out only by adventuring what like a deck of many things does, or a wand of Orcus or whatever it is. I mean, obviously all players know magic items, or well, a player who's been around for a while will know the magic items and will know the monsters. But I guess really the point I'm trying to make here is that there's too many systems that aren't justified. There's no justification for their existence. They just exist in order to get people to spend money to and buy their book, buy their core book, and buy all the modules and such that are associated to that core system. So it's a more of a profit model than being actually motivated through the rules or the system or the genre or the setting. It's just we need to have books. I don't know. I wish that they would stop doing that. Anyways, that's yeah, that's my video. All right, thanks.